On this channel, I'm typically walking through everyday repairs on vehicles and home maintenance items, but every once in a while I throw out a random topic, and today is one of those videos. I have a couple of softball players in my house, and throughout the years we've accumulated a few different fielding masks, and I've also purchased a couple new ones because I wasn't real sure on which ones would be best fit for my kid and the best feel. Today I thought I would do a little bit of a review of the different kinds of masks that I have and are pretty common that probably a lot of you all have or are thinking about getting. And hopefully this video will help you all out and let you select the proper one that you like the best. There is a price range anywhere from 20 bucks all the way up to 60, 70 bucks. So here on my table I've got several different masks. I have the basic youth one that's made out of a plasticky material. It's very light. And then I have more of an entry-level mask. I have the common Rip It mask that you'll find at the big box stores. I have a Champro Magnesium, supposed to be a little bit lighter mask, and then even lighter Boombah Defcon mask here. And we're going to talk about each one of these individually, then kind of do a little bit of a review on each of the different areas. I'd like to make this video as interactive as possible, so if you guys have any feedback on these masks, if you've used them or your kid has used them, and you have some things you like and some things you don't like, go ahead and list that in the comments. When reading descriptions of these masks online on different sites, they had different claimed weights, and some of the brands never even told you the weight. They just said they were lightweight. So I have a fishing scale here, and it rounds to the nearest ounce, and I'm going to go ahead and weigh all of these masks and show you what the actual weights are. Just to be clear, I'm not getting any payback or free products or anything from any of these companies. I'm just doing a review to hopefully help the softball community out here. Before we get started, just some general things. Number one, I'll put links to all these different masks in the description of this video. And number two, I won't talk about some of the features that much. They pretty much all have the same strap system that's adjustable, and it has this ponytail slot here. They pretty much all have a chin cup that's velcroed onto the frame, and you can remove and adjust it up and down based on your proper fit. The differences come in the look, the feel, the visibility, and the weight. And pretty much all of these, you can get replacement straps and liners and chin cups, which is a good idea to have on hand if you're playing a full season, especially if you're traveling around at all. It'd be nice to have an extra chin cup on hand in case you lose yours or it rips or it just gets really sweaty over a long weekend. You can put that dry one in there. Won't spend a lot of time on this one, but this is kind of the entry level for if you have a really young player. It's good to start them off with a simple plastic mask. This is a Defender Sports mask. Defender Sports is actually owned by the same parent company that owns Rip It and Ringer. This one here costs around 35 to 40 bucks, and it's very light. It has a good field of view. It's comfortable and safe, and it has the little customizable fit like they all have as far as straps and the chin cup go. For the actual weight, you can see it says 6 ounces here, so that's pretty light, and you would expect it to be light being a plastic material. It's still strong, it's still going to protect your kid. It's definitely a great option for youth. And there's other brands that are similar, like this one. I think Rawlings has a plastic one as well. Here we have a different kind of mask here. This is a more common steel-framed mask that you'll probably see a lot of girls wearing, something similar to this. This is a Champro brand. It's called Champro The Grill. And this is a mask that we've had around, and it's kind of become our spare mask we just keep around. But the advantage to this mask is its cost. It comes in at only about 20 to 25 bucks online. So it's a very cost-effective mask. It has the sort of 2 vertical bars instead of just a single one. It does feel just slightly heavier, and it does weigh in a little bit heavier. It's showing about 14 ounces. I think it's on the low end of 14 because it started out at high 13 and then it rounded up to 14. So it's right around that 14 ounce mark. So it is a little bit heavier, but not a massive difference. You're only talking about a couple of ounces, 1 to 2 ounces heavier than some of the most popular other brands. All of these masks are designed for safety. They're all useful for either size softball. So the smaller softballs are the 11-inch balls like this one here. Even this smaller size is not going to go through the mask, and obviously the larger ball can't either. And just to show you the inside real quick, so the standard strap with the ponytail slot, the padding is it's more of a kind of foamy feeling where it presses against your face here. So there's not really any moisture wicking material or anything like that. Again, this is more of a cost-effective option that if you're on the fence about whether or not your kid's even going to play, it's probably something like this is where you should start just to have them protected. Next, we'll talk about the Rip It masks. My own kids have owned these youth masks for quite a few years here and you've been using them. So these are Rip It youth masks. This one is a Defense Pro. And this one is called a Defense Spirit, I think just because it's a funky paint job there. I don't think they actually make that one anymore. And here's a brand new adult Defense Pro right here. When you go to a big box sporting goods store, you'll probably find that Rip It takes up the most shelf space. It's a very common brand. And for good reason, it's a good mask. Number one, it looks pretty good. You've got some straight lines. You only have the one single bar in the middle here. So it takes away some of that complexity of some of the other designs, if you will. It is just a rounded steel wire type of construction. On the inside, you've got, they all have a strap this shape, but you can kind of tell the elastic is pretty good quality just by tugging on it. And the padding on the inside is pretty soft. It's kind of a very soft feeling, and supposedly it's moisture wicking type of material. The chin cup is pretty soft and flexible. The package that this thing comes in has several claims here. You can pause the video and read through that if you want to. Also, just to be aware, they have a Defense Pro like this here, and then they have one that's just the Defense mask. And you might wonder what the difference is. And what I can find is this Defense Pro has the moisture wicking technology or material on it. It has what they call a blackout technology, and I think that's just a coating or another type of paint that they put onto the inside of the mask to reduce glare. And you can kind of see by looking at the inside of it, it's not quite as shiny as the outside. So I think that they put some of that, basically more of a matte type of paint on the inside instead of a glossy, and I think that that helps reduce some glare if that's an issue. I've never heard of anybody complaining about glare on a rounded wire mask like this though. A big difference that the Defense Pro has over the regular Defense is they actually offer what they call a peace of mind policy. So if your player is using a Defense Pro like this and they suffer some sort of injury, Rip It will actually cover up to $5,000 in costs related to that injury. There's probably some caveats to that, I'm sure. I know that you have to register your mask when you buy it on their website, and you have to agree to some terms and conditions, and who knows if you want to sign off on those terms and conditions. I wanted to show you the size difference real quick on these youth masks versus the adult mask. As far as the width of the mask goes, you can put them against each other like this, and they're pretty much exactly the same. So there's no difference that I can see in how wide these masks are. The difference comes in how tall they are. Put them side by side, you can see the chin on the one on the right here is the adult one, and it goes down lower. That's why the measuring tool that Rip It provides has you measure the distance from the bottom of your chin up to just above your eyebrows, and that helps define which size to go get. The Defense and Defense Pro do have different price levels. So the standard Defense costs about $40, and the Defense Pro costs about $60. Even though Rip It does advertise that this is a lightweight mask, you can never find any reliable weight information online, or at least I was unable to. Even on Amazon, I found some wide varieties of weights listed, anywhere from 10 ounces to 1.2 pounds, which is just obviously way too heavy for this mask. So if anyone from Rip It happens to watch this, you might want to go and check your claimed weights on sites like Amazon, and you might want to list that somewhere, because that's what a lot of people are interested in, trying to see what these things weigh. Let's get some actual weights. Here's one of my youth masks. It's coming in at 12 ounces on the scale here. Here's my other youth mask, again, 12 ounces on the scale. Here's the brand new adult mask here. It's showing 12 ounces. Every once in a while it pops up to 13, but closer to 12 ounces it looks like. And you'd expect it to be just a tiny bit heavier than the youth one, since it has a taller height. Here we have a different style of mask to consider. It's not the rounded wire frame type of mask, but instead it's a lightweight magnesium material. And it's not really rounded, it's kind of more flat. They probably had to have a little bit more surface area on the magnesium to get the strength they needed. This mask, its biggest claim to fame is it's lightweight. It's lighter than the other wire masks, even the Rip It masks. And it's a little bit different design. It's got the two vertical bars instead of the one single one. And again, even the smaller softball can't fit through here. Even a baseball can't really fit through here. The wire version of the Champro mask, a baseball can actually fit through there just barely, but it'd have to be extremely unlucky for that to happen. This Champro mask, unlike the cheaper wire one, does have the moisture wicking material on the padding on the inside, so it is that softer type of material in here. And again, it's elastic, feels pretty good. So I bought a youth one and an adult one for my kid to try on and just see if she liked it. To compare the size of the youth mask to the adult mask, I thought I'd stick them together here, put them right next to each other. The adult one here on the right actually is a little bit wider even, not much wider, but just a little. So when you put them next to each other, you can definitely see this adult one is a little bit taller, and just generally the whole proportion of it is just a little bit bigger. The field of view opening is just slightly bigger on the adult one. It's almost like they just increased the dimensions a certain percentage overall, so the whole thing is just slightly bigger. If you want to check out the packaging and just see what they advertise here, you can pause the video here and have a look. When my kid tried this on, it's pretty comfortable. She did complain a little bit about the vision out of this. I'm not sure why. I think it's just because she's used to that rounded steel frame type of mask, and this one being, you know, flat and kind of wider right here, it gave her the perception that it maybe didn't have quite as much visibility. It is noticeably lighter. So the claimed weight on the website is 8 ounces. When I weigh this thing, it does flash between 9 ounces and 10 ounces there. So I would go ahead and mark it a 9+, so somewhere around 9.5 to 9.6 is my guess, and every once in a while is why it pops up to the 10 ounce. So it's slightly heavier than the claimed weight of 8 ounces, at least on my scale here. Now the youth model here actually does show up at 8 ounces on my scale here. It is lighter than the steel frame masks. It's definitely lighter. The box will say 30% lighter, but it depends on which of the steel frame masks you measure. It is 30% lighter than quite a lot of the masks. If you're comparing it specifically to the Rip It one, it's probably more like 25% lighter, but you know, we're kind of splitting hairs. At the end of the day, it is a little bit lighter. One other thing to note that my player didn't care for on this mask was the chin cup. It's a little bit stiffer of a material, almost on the hard side, and it has these big ridges, which on one hand would allow a little airflow and a little, you know, your sweat to kind of, I guess, go somewhere, but it also provides less surface area pressing against your chin, and it could cause a little bit of irritation. But if the chin cup is the only thing you don't like on this mask, you can get these chin cup replacements, you know, in other brands for something like $5 online, or pretty cheap, and you could swap that out since it just Velcros on there. The last mask I have on hand to show is this Boombah Defcon mask. It is a pretty high-end mask. It's a little bit on the more expensive side, around $60, which isn't all that different compared to some of the other masks. It's one of the only ones I've ever seen that's actually made out of titanium, and the reason you use titanium is because it's very strong material, yet it's very extremely lightweight. Now, due to the material, that's why it's a little bit more expensive than standard steel. The claimed weight on this is only 6.5 ounces, which is extremely low. And when I measure it here with my scale, it's teetering between the 6 and 7 ounces. So when I weigh it, it is in line with the claimed weight, kind of 6.5 to 7, somewhere in that range. So it's very lightweight. You know, Boombah is a very popular brand for some items. They make a lot of protective gear. They make a lot of bat bags. So I am surprised that this doesn't get more shelf space at big box sports stores. I just don't see this on the shelf. I found it on Amazon and online. Another thing I thought interesting was the other masks, when you purchase them, come in kind of attractive looking packaging and boxes. When I got this thing, it was literally inside of this clear plastic bag in a UPS box. There was no packaging basically, which may be why it doesn't have a ton of shelf space. But at the end of the day, if the company saves a few bucks on packaging and passes that savings on to me, then I'm happy with that. Look at the inside of it. It does have pretty soft, they call it memory foam type of material. So it's not quite as like velvety type as some of the other masks, but it is definitely soft. And the chin cup, while it looks like it has the big ridges, it's actually soft, pretty soft material, so I don't think it'll be a problem. To compare it to the Rip It here, you'll notice the metal portion that the chin cup Velcros to is a pretty small surface area compared to this wider piece. That does have me concerned that maybe this chin cup, you know, it has less surface area for the Velcro to stick to. So over time, that might become an issue, but it does feel like it's on there good as far as the Velcro goes. To put all these higher end ones side by side, we have the Boombah, the Rip It, and the Champro Rampage here. Just wanted to show you the material. This is pretty soft. They're all soft. These two on the right are a little, you can see, kind of fuzzy looking, almost velvety type of covering there. But they're all soft. I would say the Boombah is probably the softest as far as the foam type of material, but it is also a little bit thinner. If you take out your ruler and measure how thick this material is, it is a little thinner on that one compared to these other two. So it may need replacing a little bit more often. That's just a guess. Don't have a lot of experience with this one yet. And when my kid tries this one on, she definitely feels that it's definitely lighter. It is similar style as far as the wire, the rounded wire type of frame that she's used to. So for that, I think she's going to like this one probably the most of all the masks that I've showed today, because it's light, because it has a standard view. It's similar to the common mask that she started out with, and this is the one we're going to give a shot and try going forward. And if for some reason we don't like the strap, it does feel like a good strap, but if for some reason we couldn't find the replacement strap for this, the Rip It replacement strap that you can get anywhere would work fine for any of these masks. The same with the chin cup, because at the end of the day, they're all the same design as far as the strap and the chin cup attachment. They're all Velcro like this. Hopefully this review helped you guys out with some more information on the masks that I happen to have here. Like I mentioned before, there's all kinds of masks out there available online. Matter of fact, here's a slide showing 8 more masks that you can find anywhere from 25 bucks to 55 bucks. A lot of them are very similar. You'll see that the Champion Magnesium one looks exactly like the Rampage that Champro offers here. So there's a lot of them out there. So if you're a parent of a player, or if you are a player that has used one of these masks, or any mask for that matter, go ahead and shout out in the comments and let us know what you think of the mask that you've been using and what you like about it, what you don't like about it. I do have a couple other softball related videos. I have one for redoing a bat grip and one for relacing your glove. If you have any interest, here's some links for those videos. Thanks for watching my channel, and give me a thumbs up.